good, YouTube? It's your boy Cedric Jamal, and I got my homegirl today with me.
Ashley, how y'all doing? I'm here with my bud, my bud Seti over here. We're here to talk about a good topic that y'all should know about. And actually, this is my first video.
So today's topic is dating trans, and I just want to get a little brief on, and she's gonna help me today talk a little bit about it. So we're gonna start off by how does it feel to be in a relationship with a trans person? I have not experienced that, but she has. So she's gonna tell you a little bit.
So actually, I think a lot of what, and I am nowhere near a specialist, but I will tell you, in any relationship, communication is the key. I think if you have never been in a relationship with a person of trans experience, then you should have, there's a lot of conversations that I believe you should have, especially before you are intimate. Before someone is intimate, I think that is, the key thing. Because those are conversations, there may be things that, like said when you're intimate with your partner, there may be things that you don't like, and maybe that's a conversation you might have before you're intimate so that it doesn't come up during intimacy and it kind of looks awkward.
Right. It's also good to also sit down and actually get a better understanding about someone who is transitioning or who is willing to transition. Support is definitely another important thing in the relationship. Some may be afraid to come out to their significant other because they feel like the person is going to hurt them, or they're in that stage where that person is not really, not really open to dating someone who is trans, and is kind of afraid to actually express them being trans around their significant others. So you gotta be aware that when you do come across someone who is trans or not trans, they want you to understand them a bit. And I just feel like being with someone who is trans is they also can relate to other problems that are similar than others that are transition. When it comes down to a cisgender person, they feel like when they date someone who is cisgender, they feel like the cisgender don't know anything, but probably been around people like that, but doesn't really know as much because some may not experience of dating, or they actually behind closed doors with one. So I kind of want to get a little brief about preference-wise. Not a lot of people are dating someone that's trans, which is absolutely fine because not a lot of people have a preference to date someone who is trans. And me personally, I am attracted to trans women and cis women as well. And a lot of people ask me why is there an attraction for someone who was born as male? Like, what is the reason that people have an attraction for the person who was born as a girl or a guy and they're now transitioning? Why is there an attraction for that all of a sudden?
So I'd like to think that the main thing is not whether the person is trans. So like for me, for instance, so like I prefer men. You could be trans, you could be cis. I really don't care what you have between your legs. I just care the fact that you are, you're male. And I think a lot of women, and from what I've heard from the trans community or trans females in general, a lot of women will say or make derogatory comments like, oh, I need the real dick if they're dating a trans man. And I think that really, besides the fact that
I just feel like it's ignorance.
It is ignorance. A lot of it is ignorance. Because a lot of times it's not managing their own emotions because they're justifying a dick pounding as love. and I'm sorry, like, to coin the phrase, but that's basically what it boils down to. Like, you justifying love where it shouldn't be. If a person loves you, it's not that they're giving you money or a dick or a house or a car. It's the fact that they make you feel whole as a person.
Right. So what I was saying is, referring back to what she was saying, how people would say they want the real thing, they would also say something about how they wouldn't date a trans man because he doesn't have the real thing as well. Now, you gotta realize it's really not about the sex organs when it comes to someone. It's all what's inside, not about the physical appearance. And I experienced my experience the whole time before coming trans as well. I experienced a physical, the physical attraction from people. And when you're attracted to someone, you want to sit there and be attracted to something that you like, not just one thing and then never hear from them again.
So, and I do believe that that's true. Unfortunately, again, that falls back on, ignorance, people not being open-minded. Like you said that you would date a trans man, or a trans female or a female. And, the key thing in there is the gender, it's the female. The trans part is just the journey. And I think people lose sight of the fact that that trans is just the journey that you've gone through. And for those that are ignorant, that think that it's negative, or you get some men that I've heard say, oh, well, I'm not gay. Well, honey, I'm not gay either, so I don't understand what.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a girl. You're a guy, so it's nothing gay about this.
So what's up? Shoot your shot.
I'm just saying. We're still going to heaven, baby.
Of course, yeah.
Whatever.
So now I'm gonna skip to the fact that there's people that inbox me. Oh, I'm afraid to start my transition while I'm in a relationship with a female. I mean, it's your choice. It's not your girlfriend's choice. It's not your mother's choice.
So not to interrupt, and I hate to say this, but if somebody's gonna love you, they're gonna love you for who you are.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm very big, and I've said he's heard me say this thousands of times. Relationships like, being, like a puzzle. It's got to fit. If a person doesn't fit in your puzzle, then they just don't fit. You can't pound a circle into a square.
Right.
It's just not gonna. Even if you're with a person for 10 years, and you find out 10 years later they weren't for you, they weren't for you.
No, if they feel like they're not happy.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good fit, baby. You can eventually move on. I know
what's best for you, just do what's best for you.
Exactly.
If that person doesn't like it, then leave them alone, because you're not gonna sit in a place where you don't belong at and feel very uncomfortable. You feel like you're claustrophobic.
Should never be like that.
No.
Your partner should never pull his hand away when somebody else is looking.
And this is just not for trans people, this is also for cis.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of cis people need to really be educated on dating someone who is trans, because a lot of women that do attract, that say that they have an attraction for me, don't just attract because of the fact that I do all this process to my body, but you see what's going on physically, but you're not seeing what's going on inside. And not a lot of people would understand that until they actually got a chance to actually sit down and take a conversation like this to the extreme, to actually put knowledge in your head.
100% fact.
So it's like you really have to understand when a trans person is telling you how it is, how they want it to be to them, as you respecting their transition. That you just have to not just, even if you're cis and you are attracted to people who are trans, this is like a little education. I just wanted to brief on it a little bit, and I had someone who experienced some type of stuff. I mean, sex is behind closed doors, so whatever happens. Oh, I did this with a trans man and I don't like it. Well, that's too bad. That's your business. You shouldn't be telling people what you did behind closed doors. Because
exactly. Nobody should know that, especially husband and wife. I've heard some comments where they say that, oh, well, the wife strapped on and is screwing the husband and he's gay. That doesn't make you gay. He's a man. She's a woman. Still a heterosexual relationship. Whatever goes on between, behind closed doors really should stay that way.
Yeah, because that's not everybody's business to know.
And really that doesn't make nobody gay. That just makes you more open with your partner.
Right.
I mean, you like what you like. If you like your toes sucked, if you like your butt eaten, if you like whatever you... I know, I'm sorry. I had to go there, whatever.
It's okay. Basically, you know what she's saying. No. Basically what she's saying, everything is true. We just wanted to brief on a little bit about dating. But like I said, like, share, subscribe. This is your boy Cedric Jamal.
This is Ashley, and stay tuned for the next
Video.
series, which we're going to talk about transitioning and your battle plan.
Yes.